kudos to you for clicking on this video because it takes courage to question what I'm going to be discussing in this video. So we normally assume that we know what we want. Ask anyone. Like, yeah, you're always doing something for a reason. There is something like you're just trying hard. You think you know what you want. You think you know who you are. But what if I tell you the hard truth for that is that you don't? And that's the door to happiness, to actually real lasting happiness. And that's why you may feel that your life is not complete yet. Because if you knew who you are and what do you want, life will be pretty straightforward. It will be very easy to be happy. So just for a second, just for a few minutes, consider that you don't know who you are and you don't know, therefore, what do you want. Think for a second on all the things that you have tried to get in this life to make yourself happy. Maybe career choices, maybe relationship choices, maybe whatever you have tried to be happy. And if you can get to the point that you actually admit that your life doesn't completely click, there's still negative emotions, there are still sense of things are not as they could. You kind of intuitively know that they could be better, or just suffering. You're maybe depressed or have anxiety, whatever it is. This is a very powerful point to be, because now you can question yourself and you can ask yourself, is that what you really wanted? And then you may be able to see that actually you didn't. When you took that decision, you didn't know. Because whether it happened and you realize that it didn't bring you the happiness, for a while you got that thing, and yeah, but after some time, you find yourself in the same spot, more or less, with the same kind of negative emotions, with the same kind of sense of insatisfaction as a background in your life. No matter what interesting things happening, is just like a short break. So whether you got it, and you got the house, you got the family, you got the career, whatever it is, or you didn't. In both cases, it's a miserable situation because you've realized that happiness is not there as hard as you try. But this is the moment to step back a little bit and realize that probably, or at least maybe, you just didn't know what you really wanted and who you really were. And here's the shocking bit when you actually are ready to question yourself, is to realize that everything you think you want, you don't really want it. The mechanism behind this is that you have a sense of dissatisfaction and fear of not having enough, fear of not having enough money, fear of being sick, fear of, you have a starting point of a fear, and then you projected something that you think is a desire. You think it's a good thing you want. So why would anyone prevent you from getting that? That's go against your free will, right? But what if you've been choosing wrong all the time because you were basing what you think is a desire is actually not a real, honest, spontaneous desire coming from the true expression of your being. It comes from fear. It comes from being lost in a video game. Imagine you're playing a game of any sort, and you get so involved in the game that you forget who you are. There's a profound sense of inadequacy, like things are not right. You don't know how. You're there, you're in the game, you're playing the game of being a person and having a mind and having a family or not having a family, or this job or this other job. You're playing that game in time and space. But something feels off, profoundly off. You can't just not sit and rest. Why? Because you're too deep, you're too involved, you got to believe too much the movie and the video game, and you thought yourself that you were the character. And you may ask yourself, okay, cool, but now how do I find who I really am? What is the solution for all this? Well, you don't do it by making more plans. You already realize, okay, you're kind of in a confusing state. How are you going to make decisions about that? The only thing that you can actually do is just to sit and allow yourself to feel how you are really. And to admit, at least to yourself, that you are far from where you actually want to be. that for some reason you end up in this point where your life, when you deeply question it, it doesn't make sense anymore. But that's the starting point. It's a very powerful situation because most people are too busy to realize this. It takes courage to sit and meditate. This is actually the core of meditation, just to see what's there really. Just give yourself a moment. It's an act of self-love and self-compassion, just to sit and feel and have the compassion to feel your sense of insatisfaction, your sense of fear about the future, your sense that you couldn't manage your life to be a safe thing the way you want it. It takes courage to admit that to yourself and feeling that emotion in your body, feeling that thoughts. And only then you discover, by doing that kind of process of sitting, that I call meditation, but you could call it just being honest with yourself, sitting and being honest with yourself, and observing what's happening, not just in the surface of what I should doing, not doing, but you're seeing your thoughts from a kind of a distance, like impartial perspective. You see your thoughts and you see why. So you don't see yourself from inside your mind. That's what most people do. And that's why people find hard to meditate, because your mind is trying to meditate, but your mind cannot meditate. Your mind is the opposite to meditation. Meditation is peace. Meditation is love and presence. It's fulfillment actually on itself. But you need to go to peel out these layers of feeling uncomfortable to get to that level of honesty that you're ready to say, okay, I'm ready to admit that I don't feel okay. I know life may be fine, may be normal, but there is something there that's still missing. Because only when you look inside in this way, you can find what's missing. Otherwise, you're going to be running like in a hamster wheel all your life. But this apparent uncomfortable move of sitting and observe yourself, that many people would even describe as boring, something magical happens when you do it. That just for a moment, you stop chasing. Just for a moment, you accept yourself as you are. You do that only by looking at yourself. You appreciate yourself just by actually paying attention to yourself. And when you do that, something happens. Instead of fueling this sense of insatisfaction, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to protect myself, I need to get more of this. Instead of going to that kind of line, that's your mind, you just rest behind that, just in the presence of this moment. It's what you are. It is there. And when you start resting on that, a magical thing happens. That you realize that this world around you is actually just reflecting your inner experience, what your mind is doing, what you're feeling. The world, the situation you live in, they are a reflection of a deeper sense of you. And that's a very powerful move. Because now, instead of going out in the world chasing the reality, you have to do this, you have to do that, you don't have that, you should be realistic, suddenly realize that there is no such thing. It's like quantum physics. You should question everything about what you think is real. That's the way you wake up. So you do that by placing attention inward. And when you do that and you start noticing all these patterns, they will start dissolving in front of your eyes, and you will start find at least a way of resting behind all the matrix of craziness in your mind and all this kind of accumulation of negative emotions through trauma, through many things that happen to you and that you live. Just for a moment, you get free of all that because you start being just here and now. And when you do that, the powerful magical shift is that instead of when you realize this relationship between in and out and they are not really different, that's the moment where things start turning around. Because this life starts reflecting your abundance. And instead of going around in life chasing, you find yourself more and more letting life reflect it back to you. You are just resting in your being. And yeah, for a while, your mind may still be dreaming. You may still It may still get you. There's a momentum of all this stuff that you've been living in your mind. But if you're able to rest deep enough, this momentum is gonna burn out on itself. It's gonna run out. And that moment you're gonna start seeing the magic in your life. The magic that has been always underneath all these clouds of thinking, emotions, and desperation. And again, opportunities appear. Or you just feel great for no reason. Just wake up one morning and I just feel great. Nothing changed really. It's not like you have manifested a castle or a lot of money or anything like that. Suddenly you just feel great. And you know that's all that you wanted all along. So here's the real challenge. You have to sit, relax, feel yourself. Instead of running away from yourself and trying to distract you with many things in this world, with many ideas. I need to make myself happy. I need to think of positive things. I need to get motivation and accomplish things out there, and then that day I will be happy. You're doing that because you are fueling your mind and your body through this sense of incompletion. So by resting, you will be able to see the mechanics of how you are creating this self-delusional situation. And just in the same way that you will be watching a movie instead of realizing, okay, wait, this is just a movie. This is just a dream. The same way, you will wake up to realize that you actually have everything you always wanted. And life is just a game to play. If you're serious about truly understanding meditation, not just the surface level mindfulness hype, but the deep, time tested methods of the sages, I have a free course with real practical guidance waiting for you. And if you struggle to stay consistent with your meditation practice, join our free community for accountability, live online meditation sessions, and discussion circles that will keep you supported every step of the way. You'll find the link to join in the description or the comments below, so you will never have to do this alone. See you there.